Everyone wants to start big. Everyone wants funding, office space, a team, an investor. But let me ask you a serious question. What if I told you that having money at the beginning might be the reason you never grow strong? What if being broke is not your curse, but your blessing? You don't need money to start. What you need is fire in your mind and conviction in your heart. And I say this because in the beginning, the world will not give you support. It will test your commitment. When you have nothing and you still choose to build, that's when greatness begins. That's why you must listen to this speech till the end, because this message is not just about business. It's about unlocking the power already inside you. I have seen people with millions in the bank and no idea what to do. And I've seen people with no money who changed the world because they had a bold idea, relentless belief, and the courage to act. Money doesn't create vision. Vision creates money. Start with vision. Start with belief. Start with service. When you are poor, you become creative. You learn to stretch every minute, every resource. You use free tools. You knock on doors. You share your story. You build your strength day by day. These muscles, the mental, emotional, and spiritual muscles, will serve you forever, even when money comes. But if you start with money and no muscle, you'll collapse the moment a storm hits. Think about it. Some of the world's greatest ideas were born out of limitations, because limitations force focus, and focus creates power. Use what you have, your story, your network, your local knowledge, your skills. No one has your combination. That is your asset. People say, but I have no one to help me. Good. That means you'll learn how to lead yourself. People say, but I don't have a budget. Great. That means you'll learn how to manage, negotiate, and trade value. And people say, but I'm not sure I'm ready. Listen, you don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. Nobody believed in the underdog until the underdog refused to quit. That's the path. Starting with nothing gives you a superpower, the power of becoming unstoppable, because you've already lost your fear. There's nothing left to protect, just your purpose, your drive, and your dream. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be rich. You need to be in motion. The world belongs to the builders, not the waiters, not the dreamers, not the complainants, but the builders who dare to start with nothing because they believe in something. You need money to start, but you do need to start. Start where you are. Start with what you know. Start with what you feel. Start and don't stop. The money will come later, but the courage, that's what changes your life today. The world doesn't reward the one who starts rich. It rewards the one who starts right. This is the essence of every true entrepreneurial journey. An idea that solves a real problem is infinitely more valuable than a bank account full of cash. Think about it. Money is only a tool. It's the idea that gives it direction, meaning, and purpose. Without vision, money is just paper. And yet, so many people sit and wait. Wait for funding. Wait for the right moment. Wait for someone else to believe in them. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. The most successful people you admire started with just an idea and belief in that idea strong enough to carry them through ridicule, rejection, and resistance. We live in an age where ideas have never been more powerful. You can change the world from your bedroom. You can reach millions from your smartphone. What's missing is not money. What's missing is the clarity of purpose and the courage to act on it. If you're waiting for money, you'll wait forever. Because money doesn't chase uncertainty. It chases confidence. And confidence comes from knowing that your idea matters, your work has meaning, and your action has momentum. Let's be honest, money can make you comfortable, but it will never make you creative. It can fund your project, but it won't fuel your spirit. When you have no money, you have something rare and priceless, urgency. You're forced to be sharp, to think smart, to test and adapt quickly. You're not wasting time over planning. You're out there doing, failing, adjusting, and trying again. That process is the birthplace of real success. Because it builds something money cannot buy: resilience. Too many people make the mistake of thinking, if only I had money, I could do great things. But the truth is, if you can't move mountains without money, you won't do it with money either. Why? Because your biggest asset is not capital. It's conviction. Conviction is what gets people to say yes to you before you've built anything. Conviction is what turns a small idea into a massive movement. People don't follow you for your resources, they follow you for your reason. History is filled with those who started with nothing but a dream, a problem to solve, and an unshakable belief that it could be done better. And it was that belief, not their budget, that launched them. That can be you. It starts with saying, I have enough to begin. You don't need to prove your idea to everyone. You need to prove it to yourself through action. Execution turns dreams into results. So don't wait for money to legitimize your idea. Let your passion, your persistence, and your progress do that. The world rewards the bold, not the banked. Start right with purpose, service, and mind made up, and watch how far that can take you. You don't rise because of what you have, you rise because of how you use what you have. The truth is, everyone has something. Some people have time. Some have skills. Others have perspective, storytelling, hustle, or relationships. But far too many people dismiss what they do have and obsess over what they don't. They look at their empty wallets and forget they have a full mind. They look at the lack of funding and forget they have the ability to learn, adapt, connect, and build. This is where everything changes when you shift your mindset from I need more to I will do more with what I already have. Resourcefulness is the real currency of success. Not money, not connections, but your ability to stretch a little into a lot, to turn small steps into big progress, to find ways instead of excuses. That's what separates the people who dream from the people who build. The builders look around and say, okay, this is what I've got. How do I make it work? That mentality is unstoppable. Because when you're truly committed, limitations become your tools. You start finding free platforms, reaching out to people directly, creating content, telling your story, and building something piece by piece. And over time, that effort compounds into something real. Let's face it, if having more resources guaranteed success, the richest people would be the most innovative. But that's not how it works. Innovation is born from constraint. Creativity lives in pressure. If you look at the most disruptive ideas in the world, they didn't come from places of comfort. They came from people backed into corners, out of options, but full of drive. These are the moments when resourcefulness shines. When you're hungry to make it work, your mind starts solving problems faster. You experiment, you fail, and you refine. That process, those scars and lessons will make you more powerful than any startup funding ever could. Resourcefulness is also magnetic. When people see you doing more with less, they respect you. They get curious. They think, if this person can do all this with so little, what could they do if they had more? That's how partnerships are born. That's how investment finds you. Because people want to support those who've proven they can survive the storm without the perfect umbrella. It builds trust. It shows you're not dependent on ideal conditions, you're adaptable. And that's rare. So never say, I can't start, I don't have enough. Instead, ask, what can I do with what I already have? That shift will open doors you didn't even see before. Every small action, every clever move, every workaround becomes part of your foundation. And that foundation, built with your own two hands, will carry you further than money ever could. Because once you've learned how to win without resources, no one can take that power away from you. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment. They say, I'll start when I have more money, or I need the right equipment, or I just need a little more time. But the truth is, if you keep waiting, you'll wait forever. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. You have to start where you are with what you have and trust that it's enough to begin. Because it is. Every great journey starts with a single step, not with a full bank account or a fancy office, but with a decision. I'm going to move forward no matter what. People believe they need a fully formed plan, the best team, and the right market conditions to start something meaningful. But the world has proven again and again that some of the greatest companies, movements, and ideas were born out of bare-bones situations. They didn't start big, they started small with deep purpose and relentless execution. A single person in a room with an idea and a drive to serve can change the world. But only if they begin. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need capital to create. You just need to start. Think about this. When you start small, you have the freedom to make mistakes. You have room to adapt, to grow without the pressure of impressing investors or maintaining a large structure. You learn to be agile. You learn to listen to people, not just chase profits. You get direct feedback, not filtered data. You grow from the ground up, and that kind of growth is powerful. It's rooted. It's earned. There's also something incredibly powerful about building in the shadows before anyone is watching. You get stronger without distraction. You sharpen your skills. You figure out what works and what doesn't. And when the spotlight eventually finds you, and you'll be ready. Starting small means you're building something sustainable. You're building something real. People admire big success, but often ignore the small, quiet beginnings behind them. They see the outcome, not the grind. But make no mistake, the grind is where the greatness is forged. It's in the late nights, the early mornings, the doubts, the breakthroughs, and the daily decision to keep going. That's where your identity as a creator is formed. Not when you're celebrated, but when you're unseen and still show up. So don't underestimate small beginnings. Don't despise starting with little. Use your phone. Use your voice. Use your story. Use your skills. Use your time wisely. Every tool you need is either already in your hand or within reach if you're willing to work for it. The secret isn't in what you start with, it's in your willingness to start. You don't need a map to take the first step. You just need to move. Start where you are. Begin with what you know. And trust that momentum will carry you further than waiting ever could. If your focus is on making money, you're aiming too low. Money is not the mission, it's the result. The most powerful businesses and movements didn't start because someone wanted to be rich. They started because someone wanted to solve a problem. That's where your energy should go. What can I fix? What can I improve? What pain can I ease? What need can I meet? When you shift your mindset from chasing money to solving real problems, everything changes. People don't pay for effort. They pay for solutions. They pay for value. And if you want to build something lasting, you must become obsessed with creating value before collecting dollars. People get stuck thinking they need to invent something never seen before. But that's not what solving problems means. Most of the time, the greatest innovations come from making something simpler, faster, or more human. People are busy. People are overwhelmed. People want things that work. That's your opportunity. Look around you. Every complaint is a business waiting to be born. Every frustration is a product, a service, a message waiting to be delivered. The most incredible part is this. When you focus on real problems, people find you. They tell others about you. They come back. They trust you. And trust is more valuable than any marketing budget. You don't need to scream when your solution speaks for itself. Word of mouth becomes your engine. Loyalty becomes your base. And eventually, the money follows naturally, steadily, and with less resistance. When your goal is just money, you make short-term choices. You cut corners. You compromise values. You burn out fast. But when your goal is to serve, to uplift, to actually help someone, you build something that people respect. And respect is the foundation of every long-term success. You don't need $1 million campaign when people believe in you. You don't need hype when your results speak louder than promises. Ask yourself what irritates people, what makes life harder than it needs to be, what gap exists in your community, in your industry, in your own experience. Then get curious. Get focused. You don't need money to ask better questions. You need heart. You need to listen. You need the willingness to care enough to do something about it. People will pay for something that solves a problem they can't solve alone. They'll support someone who makes their life easier. But more importantly, they will remember and stay loyal to the person who truly understands their struggle. If you can be that person, if you can start there, everything else will fall into place. So don't focus on monetizing first. Focus on meaning. Don't ask how fast you can get rich. Ask how deeply you can serve. Because when you build your foundation on value, the structure will rise with strength. Solve a real problem, and you'll never need to chase money again. It will chase you. People think investors are looking for perfect spreadsheets, flawless pitch decks, and polished business models. But what truly moves people to invest, whether it's money, time, or belief, is vision. Vision is not about where you are today. It's about where you see yourself going. It's not about current resources. It's about future impact. The most powerful people in the world don't follow balance sheets. They follow conviction. If you speak with belief, act with purpose, and carry yourself like someone who knows their mission matters, people will feel it. And that feeling is more persuasive than any number ever written. You don't need a product to share your vision. You don't need a business card to explain your dream. You just need to make people believe that you're the kind of person who will not stop until it's real. That kind of energy, that relentless drive, it's contagious. People remember how you made them feel, not what you said. And if you can make them feel excited, inspired, and certain that you'll find a way no matter what, they'll support you even when you have nothing but a dream and determination. We often think of confidence as something that comes after success, but it's the opposite. Confidence is what attracts success. When you believe deeply in what you're building, even before the world sees it, that's what draws people in. They're not just buying into a project, they're buying into you. Your clarity, your certainty, your energy. That's why the most important pitch you ever make is not to investors or customers, it's to yourself. You must convince yourself every single day that what you're building is worth it. This is how real support forms. When your vision is clear and your voice is steady, people start to gather. Maybe it's a friend who offers to help. Maybe it's a mentor who gives you advice. Maybe it's a stranger who sees your potential and opens a door. None of that happens if you're silent. None of that happens if you wait to be ready. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to stand for something and speak it clearly. This is also why you don't need to start with a huge audience. One person who believes in you because they feel your passion is worth more than 100 people who are mildly interested. Because belief compounds, passion spreads. And when people see your consistency, your work ethic, your commitment, they stop wondering if you'll make it and start wondering when. So never underestimate the power of showing up with vision, even when your hands are empty. That's how movements begin. That's how businesses are born. That's how leaders rise, not with the most money, but with the deepest purpose. Speak your vision. Live your vision. And others will follow not because of what you have, but because of who you are becoming. So now you understand money is not what starts a journey. Belief is, grit is, vision is. The tools you think you lack are distractions from the truth. Everything you need to begin is already inside you. Don't let the absence of capital be the excuse for the absence of courage. The world does not wait for perfect people with perfect plans. It moves for those who dare to begin, for those who build in silence, persist through struggle, and rise on the strength of their mission, not their money. Every great builder, every change maker, every disruptor began in the same place, uncertain, under-resourced, but unwilling to give up. You are no different. You don't need to have it all. You just need to start with what you've got. And trust me, once you show the world you're serious, the world will get serious about you. Let others wait. Let others doubt. But you